finest forms, Booyah. Though recent ceremonies had stripped him of most princely privilege, he was still allowed to dwell in the palace. However, it was understood that when the Monkey King passed, Booyah's fate would be determined by Shuangwei. The ex-crown prince, a monkey whose chief concern was fulfillment of base desires, did not anticipate his sister's mercy. His understanding of the world was as such, an eye for an eye and 2 tails for none. The royal family had cast off its princess because of congenital defect. How then could his bad behavior, a lifelong habit, be forgiven? He was apt to do the worst, and thus he simply assumed it of others. While a show of fraternal support was in order, Booyah arrived at the fortress with sinister plans. The prince carried with him what appeared to be a royal document, a behest from the dying king commanding that Shuangwei appoint her most honourable brother prime minister. The paper was in fact a forgery, one quite poorly executed. Shuangwei immediately suspected foul play, but with the fortress in complete upheaval, there was little she could do to deter the family pest. Another far less dedicated pest was at play. News of the quarantine in Monkey City had spread throughout the fort, along with a great deal of paranoia. The chief physician ordained that cats be sequestered here too, underground in the sub-basement level. Unlike Booyah's edict, the doctors bore the official royal stamp. A dearth of cat attendants would force Shuangwei to rely on monkey scents while receiving her first regal guest. The Hog King, Zhuong, ruler of a distant land and a beast quite peculiar to monkey kind, was expected for dinner, but his purpose extended well beyond the meal. Zhuong had often heard it said that monkeys and pigs were natural allies, and had just as often doubted the case. After a lifetime of speculation, he decided to embark on a quest for the truth. The Prime Minister of Monkey Kingdom, a master of geography, knew that Hogland was rich in natural resources, and was therefore determined to gain its monarch's good graces. As the comatose Monkey King was now somewhat lacking in charm, hosting was relegated to the princess, giving her an ideal opportunity to prove capable of handling international affairs. Though Brother Booyah was a royal nuisance, his 4 functioning paws made him indispensable. Shuangwei allowed him, in fact, she ordered him to stay the night. A feast befitting a king of bigly persuasion had been created by the industrious Truchet before quarantine was imposed. The master chef had let a week's worth of table scraps rot away in a mouldering trough. Meanwhile, the pantry's rarest delicacies, treats kept on paw for visiting nobles, pickled quail eggs, grilled jellyfish, oxtail soup, shark's fin, were served to the cats of Monkey Kingdom. The absolute separation of felines and simians permitted easy delivery of the strictly forbidden luxury goods. There was not a monkey within miles of Kitty Corner. The tasty morsels not only tickled their palates but bolstered their energy, allowing the cats to uphold the sacred practice of Kung Fu. Back at the fort, Princess Shuangwei prepared for the Hog King's impending visit. She cast aside her formal wear, an elaborately embroidered silk robe, in favor of a more casual mode, nudity. All the less, she felt some personal enhancement ought to be made. And what might Zhuong appreciate? Surely bourgeois, who had quite a flair for fashion, would know, but the cats remained isolated underground, with monkeys prohibited direct contact. Shuangwei had not forgotten the complex system of smoke signals she and bourgeois developed in their youth as a way to communicate from opposite banks of the Yellow River. If the signals had worked from shore to shore, they could no doubt be used from floor to floor, but without any windows downstairs, how would bourgeois be able to see them? The Monkey Princess called upon the Royal Minister of Defense, presenting a hypothetical situation regarding emergency broadcast systems. The defense minister presumed this was a topic Shuangwei planned to review with Zhuong. Fearing that the inexperienced princess might reveal confidential information, he stated only the obvious, suggesting the tried-and-true message-in-a-bottle technique. With a magic bottle, the type genies often occupy, being the preferred container. It was a sensible, or monkey-sensible, solution to the predicament. Shuangwei spelled out her question, what to do, in fragrant banana peel smoke, and gently blew the letters into a bottle rumored to have mystical properties. Before very long, she would know whether this rumor was true, but who was to make the delivery? Certainly not a cat, and very few monkeys now dwelled in the fortress. Shuangwei's tutors had long since returned to Monkey Palace, as she had mastered all that they had to teach. The only monkeys currently in residence were the princess, her 3 ladies-in-waiting, and the visiting prince. Buyao was eager to impress his sister, more eager still to come to the aid of pretty damsels in distress. The ladies-in-waiting dreaded the disease the cats were suspected of harboring. Little did they know, Kung Fu would soon prove far more dangerous to them than the misdiagnosed plague of St. Vitus dance. Little did anyone know, especially Buyao. Head up high, chest swelled out, precious cargo in paw, Buyao marched downstairs to the dungeon where the cats were being held. But before he arrived, his curiosity got the best of him.
No harm in looking,
he thought, and it might be for the monkey's greater good. After all, curiosity was known to kill the cat.
Just a sneak peek,
he decided, as he loosened the bottle top. An irresistible banana-scented perfume wafted out. Though he only meant to take a quick whiff, the short sentence soon disappeared up his nose. A series of sneezes did nothing to retrieve it. All that remained of the message was its final punctuation. Buyao capped the bottle briskly before that could escape too. Then he proceeded to make the requested delivery, or at least a small portion of it. Led by Wuxuo, the scullions and squires were practicing their kicks, punches, jumps, when an unexpected knock rattled the cellar door. What fool, they wondered, jumping all the way to conclusion, dare risk infirmity? Though the cats realized they were unafflicted, more hale and hearty than ever before, they had not yet divulged this information to Shuangwei. An honest account would reveal their arcane knowledge of Kung Fu, and Wuxuo had been sworn to secrecy. This particular cat could not be let out of the bag or out of the basement. While Naiping guaranteed she could soon be candid with the monkey princess, he now demanded of her a masquerade. Wuxuo was instructed, and hence the others, to mock the troublesome symptoms of St. Vitus dance, purport to be hoarse, feverish, rashy, and spasmodic. When the door was answered, and Buyao rushed in, a collective sigh of relief breezed by him. The feline consensus, it would not be difficult to convince the prince of this surely. Buyao mistook the cat's pronounced exhalation for bronchitis, and ordered that an update on their health be sent immediately to Monkey Kingdom. He shook the bottle violently and bellowed with the top of his unmarred lungs.
How dare this precious tool be wasted on trivial matters when it could be used to preserve the welfare of monkey kind?
Wuxuo did her best to soothe him, meanwhile chuckling to herself. Shuangwei was anything but wasteful, and the very term all but defined her brother. Smoke is easily blown by the blusterous. When the bottle was opened, only the question mark ending Shuangwei's inquiry appeared. But Wuxuo needed nothing more to understand. It was clear Shuangwei was struggling to do honor to the crown she was soon to inherit, to build a reputation as a wise and gentle leader. Her knowledge of international diplomacy would be judged on the outcome of this dinner, not only by monkeys and hogs, but by all creatures near and far. Wuxuo took Shuangwei's question mark and curled it around her paw. Then she coaxed it back into the bottle and begged that Buyao make the return. The indolent Buyao yawned and replied churlishly,
If it's magic, why can't it return itself?
Needless to say, this response revealed a gross misunderstanding of the properties of magic, but there wasn't time enough in all of China to correct Bu Yao's misconceptions. Instead, Wu Zhuo shrewdly distracted him, as one always does a fool, with the aid of smoke and mirrors.
I'd gladly return the bottle, she panted, if it weren't for my frail condition, which...
The robust cat forced a few coughs and a couple of sneezes.
appears to be worsening by the minute.
Your Highness, Wu Zhuo snuffled as she gave a feeble curtsy, flattering the vain Bu Yao.
Is it not your bounden duty to report on the cat's state of health to the palace? Surely you'll be rewarded for alerting Monkey City to this recent development, and a handsome reward truly befits a handsome prince. While you're returning the bottle, Wu Zhuo cajoled, I'll have Jushi dehydrate some banana peels so that you can prepare your urgent warning. Now go, she insisted. Go and hurry back.
Bu Yao, hungry for the mead he felt life had cruelly denied him, dashed upstairs to his sister's chamber, where the ladies-in-waiting were busy fussing with her extra tail. Shuangwei was terribly concerned with this anomaly. Should she present it boldly, let it all hang out, so to speak? Without her silken robe to disguise it, she seemed to have little choice. Wu Zhuo had always tended to Shuangwei's grooming, tidiness coming naturally to her, as it did to most cats. Lacking such ministerial